welcome to This Day. It's Friday, May 3rd, and I'm your host, Bobby Higgins, and thank God it's Friday. We have a great show coming your way. We welcome Dr. Parsha Doritz from Mission Hospital. He's going to be here to talk about all the new advancements in diagnosing and treating epilepsy. And after that, Cole Young joins us with this week's Sports Corner. So a great show coming your way. Now let's take a look at today's Stay Informed. If you are a United resident, then you will be interested to come to the next United Town Hall meeting, which will be coming up on Friday, May 10th at 2 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center Clubhouse 3, Room 2. And now let's take a look outside at the weather. Today, the morning drizzle is just starting to clear off, and then it'll become mostly sunny with a high of 72 and a low of 56. We'll get some patchy fog late in the evening tonight and into tomorrow morning on Saturday. Then it'll be partly sunny skies with a high of 68. On Sunday, it'll be mostly sunny. On Monday, it'll be sunny with a high of 69. And Tuesday will bring some more sunny skies as well. And now take a look at our sunrise and sunset. We have just a beautiful picture here from Hope Bullock, and I'm taking you back to the Where's Waldo days, if you can find the little turtle by the pond. And there's your sunrise this morning, 5:59 a.m., and your sunset at 7:36 p.m. tonight. If you'd like to have your photo featured here on This Day, we would love to have it, so please email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Stay with us. We have a great show. Right after the break, we will have Mission Hospital, but first, let's take a look at today's meetings.
Adapt to it, we strive to make the everyday tasks easier by providing our customers with the tools they need to be successful. We carefully explain the use and care of all of our equipment. Adapt to it has been in Laguna Woods for over 20 years, and we know that nothing in life stays constant. So we can help you adapt to all the changes in your life. Adapt to it sells and rents items and always delivers with a smile. Come in today to experience what we mean when we say, when you can't change it, adapt to it.
Welcome to Laguna Woods Dental Care, where exceptional service meets the residents of Laguna Woods. Dr. Mohsen Mahmood is a proud graduate of USC's Senior Dental Care Program and a published author. He has been serving the Laguna Woods community for over 20 years. Located right outside Gate 3, our team of expert hygienists provide personalized care for every smile, ensuring your smile remains bright and healthy. Take a look at our new monthly specials. We are located upstairs, and there are elevators for easy access. Call to schedule your appointment today.
Hi, my name is Gary Russell, and I recently have moved to Laguna Woods Village. At Live Smart Technologies, we specialize in three things: home automation, simple security systems, and home computer networks. We are knowledgeable, very affordable, and genuinely want to help you. In the coming weeks, we will be talking more about how these amazing systems can benefit just about everyone. We provide free estimates and will schedule an on-site walkthrough at your convenience. Give us a call.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining us now from Providence Mission Hospital is Dr. Parsha Doritz. And welcome. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
And pleasure. Thank you for being here today. I know it's your son's day off.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Good thing this is early in the morning,
That's
right? You
right.
still have the whole day to...
He's looking forward to me coming back home.
Aww,
so, yeah.
like a daddy Sunday.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, today's topic is epilepsy. I know, it's not something anyone ever wants to have to deal with, but what causes epilepsy?
It's a really good question. Epilepsy is kind of a general term. It covers a lot of different things. So depending actually on the age of the individual, there may be various different things that may be causing it. So there's genetic causes, there's metabolic causes, infectious causes, so people get meningitis, tumors, strokes. There's a whole litany of things that can ultimately cause it. So that's what makes it such a challenge, is that it's such a unique disease in that there's so many different reasons and causes that can cause it. So really the causes are kind of endless, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was reading that like up to 70% of patients don't have a known cause. They don't necessarily
Yeah, there's a
know
very
where.
large population of people that we don't really understand. Their genetic tests are negative, their workup is negative. But I think what's really important to highlight is how many Americans have it. 1 in 10 Americans will have a seizure in their lifetime.
Wow.
Now that doesn't mean that they all have epilepsy, but about 1 in 20 of those. So there's 3.5 or so million Americans that suffer from epilepsy on a yearly basis.
Wow.
Which is a very large number of patients.
Yeah. And so is there better treatment options if it's a known cause versus an unknown cause?
It certainly makes my job easier.
Okay.
When you have a very discrete understanding of why they have epilepsy, you can better tailor and target your treatment for it. And if there's a very discrete cause, like a specific lesion, a scar on their brain, a malformation on their brain, you can actually potentially work that person up, and they may be a candidate for epilepsy surgery, which is very curative.
Wow.
The cure rates can be up to 90% in certain cases. So having an understanding or a specific idea of why they have it certainly makes treatment a little bit easier.
Okay. So how do you go about diagnosing that it is epilepsy?
It's a great question. So typically it starts with someone coming in with having a first seizure or having new onset episodes of loss of consciousness, spacing out, blank stares. And we do a very extensive workup. We get images, MRI of the brain. We get an EEG, electroencephalogram, which is essentially what I describe as an EKG of the brain.
Okay.
Most people know what an EKG
Right.
is, so you apply the same principles to the brain to get an understanding of the underlying electrical activity. Once you get all of that done, you get a better answer or a better understanding, but it's not until someone has met the definition of epilepsy that you are able to give them that definition. We're very careful about it because that can carry a lot of stigma with it, and there's a lot of baggage with that. So we try to be very cautious about that diagnosis, but if we have an idea, if we're not entirely sure, we admit them to the epilepsy monitoring unit, which is a special room that we have that we can get continuous monitoring of their brain and video as well to correlate the episodes that are in question and their EEG, and hopefully we give them an answer one way or the other that way.
What are some of like the challenges in diagnosing that it is epilepsy?
There's many challenges. One of them being the fact that many times people can have outward behaviors that may be their epilepsy that can be confused for other things. For example, kids who have daydreaming spells. A lot of kids have daydreaming spells that don't have epilepsy. That's just kids. But patients can have staring spells that are due to seizures, behavioral outbursts or changes. They can mimic each other. Fainting can look like a seizure too in some cases. So there's a lot of things that you have to rule out, which is what makes it so challenging.
Okay. What are the things, I guess, that you should look for? Like we have certain things to look for if you're having a stroke or a heart attack. So what are the things you look for
That's
this?
a really good question, and it's really hard because depending on what part of the brain is involved, you will have manifestation based on that. So if it's in the back of the brain, it may be vision. If it's in the front, it may be behavior. So you can't really apply the same principles as stroke. But for the most part, most of our patients come to us after they've had a convulsion. And any convulsion or any loss of consciousness, fainting, confusional episode that comes and goes, those are episodes that need to be kind of kept in mind.
Okay. And so what kind of healthcare team should patients look for?
That's a great question. Most neurologists are fairly equipped at getting the workup started, but when you have a complex case or you have an uncertainty or some general uncertainty about if the event is seizure-like, you really need to be going to the care of an epileptologist so that they can fully diagnose you an epilepsy monitoring unit. We have epilepsy centers of excellence that Mission is in the process of acquiring and elevating to. But you want a place that has a specialist who's able to read these recordings, and that has a team. So maybe a neuropsychologist that they're associated with or affiliated with, a good neuroradiology department so that they can read the EEG, they can read the MRIs. So you want to really go to a specialist when it's coming to this kind of stuff.
Okay. And you mentioned the epilepsy monitoring unit. So is this one of the advancements now that's helping with this?
Yeah, so that's one of the many tools that we have at our disposal. It's something that I've been working pretty aggressively to get up on its feet at Mission Hospital. Mission has been fantastic in getting us the necessary services, allocating the necessary funds to make sure that we're able to get it up off the ground. It's basically a room that's hardwired with video and EEG capabilities so that you can record a patient continuously to try to capture the event, because you want to make sure they're safe when they're having an event. And so you actually, counterintuitively, you provoke them to have a seizure so that you can see what it looks like and see what the electrical pattern is and diagnose, okay, where is this coming from? Why is he having it? How often is he or she having it? And what can we do about it?
Okay. Yeah, all definitely good information that's needed.
Yeah.
So tell me about the treatments. What type of treatments are available?
There's many treatments. The majority of the treatments are primarily medication related, and the medications in the last 40 years especially have really kind of exploded, but we still continue to see medications that are added to our arsenal every year. And once the medications have reached a point where you kind of maximize or you're not getting a response, surgical options are considered. So we have devices that we implant for neuromodulation or modifying the irritability or excitation of the nerves with a VNS that goes up to the neck and fires at a certain rate. We have ones that we implant into the brain, so a deep brain stimulator, responsive nerve stimulators that are able to be far more sophisticated in their delivery of that signal to calm the brain down. And then lastly, we have patients who are if they are candidates to resective surgery, they come in, they get evaluated, we find where the lesion is exactly, and we're able to take it out safely after a very comprehensive and thorough evaluation. And they can have a really good likelihood of being successfully cured of epilepsy.
Wow. And so is epilepsy, like, is it the body's response because something's like wrong in the system, or is it like the body's trying to correct something? Like,
no, so epilepsy, the diagnosis is, one of the definitions is an irregular or an aberrant firing of the neurons. So
Okay.
whether that's due to the circuitry being set up the wrong way when the person was being developed, whether there is a fly in the ointment and there's some irritation on the brain, it's really just an inappropriate excitation of the brain.
okay. That good analogy is fly in the in the ointment. I like that one. So does diet play a part in treating epilepsy?
Diet is actually one of it's been around, so the diet modification has been around since the 50s and 60s, but it's really lately that it's gotten more attention, and it can certainly be as effective as a drug.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible news to know, and good to hear that, because obviously if you don't have to use the drugs.
Right. Many people prefer not to be on medication because of side effects. And yes, the dietary changes can be very restrictive, but can be very liberating because they may not necessarily have to be on a medication.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a typical age when epilepsy starts to show up?
No, because again, it depends on what they're having. So we have plenty of kids that have it in the infancy up to their teenage years because of developmental issues or exposures, and then people as you get older certainly have different reasons for it, and the numbers still increase.
Wonderful. And so are people still able to have like normal long lives?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, certainly. I very much, my philosophy with epilepsy is that you are an individual who happens to have epilepsy. You're not a person with epilepsy. Yeah, it shouldn't be something that defines you. It should be something that you work with, but doesn't impede your ability to function. And I advocate for my patients to, get married, have kids, have normal jobs, do things that they enjoy, because that's really important to quality of life, which
Yeah.
can be affected by epilepsy.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here and telling
Thank you
us
for
all this
having me.
information.
I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Stay with us. We have Sports Corner coming up right after this.
Tackle unexpected terrain. The Subaru Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Dog tested, dog approved.
Celebrate the Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice.
Caring for your health shouldn't be dictated by what you can afford. At MVS, we are a family-owned business that has provided quality healthcare products for seniors in their homes for over 30 years. We negotiate on your behalf with top manufacturers to deliver low prices. We provide vital resources while staying committed to making the experience of getting medical supplies you need as easy as possible by ensuring easy online shopping and free shipping. When life is difficult, we make things simple.
Whether you are physically active, playing pickleball or golf, or have trouble with daily activities, Trishula is thoughtfully crafted with your needs in mind. Our unique formula can help provide relief when you need it most. Apply a small amount to your hands, knees, neck, shoulders, or any other areas of discomfort. Gently rub in a circular motion until thoroughly dissolved. There are no artificial chemicals, just natural plant compound to nourish your body. Endorsed by athletes, loved by all, there is nothing like Trishula Organics. Don't let pain control your life. Take action today.
Happy May, everyone, and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and it's been a busy week in sports, so let's dive right into it. We're still in the heart of the NBA playoffs, and it's bad news for one of our local teams. The Lakers were officially eliminated from the playoffs on Monday night after a 108-106 heartbreaking loss to the Denver Nuggets. The series was at 3-0 coming into Game 4, so the Lakers would have had to win 4 straight games to win the series. They pulled off a win in Game 4, but the series was ended in Game 5. Jamal Murray was questionable to play in this game for Denver, but endured through a calf injury and scored 32 points, including the game-winning shot with just 3.6 seconds remaining in the game. LeBron James led the way for the Lakers, closing out his season with an incredible 30 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, and 4 steals. This was an incredible back-and-forth game that featured 16 lead changes and 10 ties. The reigning champion Denver Nuggets will now move on to face the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are coming off of their 4-0 sweep over the Phoenix Suns. The Timberwolves won all 4 games by at least 12 points and breezed their way out of the first round. Anthony Edwards was beyond dominant for Minnesota, averaging 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game throughout the series, all capped off with a 40-point performance in Game 4. Game 1 of the matchup between Denver and Minnesota will begin tomorrow, with Game 2 following on Monday. This series should be full of explosive plays and lots of scoring, so don't miss out. Our other local team, the LA Clippers, are still in their close battle with the Dallas Mavericks. The series was tied at 2-2 going into Game 5 Wednesday night. In that Game 5, the Mavericks handedly took care of the Clippers, coming away with a 123-93 victory. Luka Doncic took control and led his team with 35 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. Game 6 will be tonight at 6:30, and if Dallas can't close out the series tonight, there will be a Game 7 on Sunday. Whoever comes out on top between the Clippers and Mavericks will move on to face the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC just completed their 4-0 sweep over the New Orleans Pelicans, and although the games were somewhat close at times, the Thunder look very dominant and are in prime position to make a deep postseason run. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been pretty much unstoppable, leading OKC in this series with 27 points per game. The Thunder have to wait patiently on Friday and possibly Sunday to see who they will face in the next round. In the Eastern Conference, unlike the West, there have been no sweeps. The number 1 seed Celtics probably should have swept the Miami Heat, but Miami secured a close victory in Game 2. Other than that, the Celtics have won by 20 in Game 1, 20 in Game 3, and 14 in Game 4. Jaylen Brown and Derek White each scored 25 points, and the Celtics advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals after beating the Heat 118-84 in Game 5 on Wednesday. Boston will face the winner of the Cleveland and Orlando series. The Orlando Magic have been in a surprisingly exciting matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland picked up wins at home in games 1 and 2, followed by the Magic picking up 2 wins at home in games 3 and 4 by a combined margin of 61 points. In Game 5, Cleveland's Donovan Mitchell scored 28 points, Darius Garland added 23, and the Cavs got a much-needed win, all while outlasting a 39-point performance from Orlando's Paolo Banchero. It was too close for comfort, but Cleveland walked away with a 104-103 win and took a 3-2 lead in the series. Game 6 will be today, and if the Cavs can't close it out today, Game 7 will be on Sunday. Lastly, Game 5 for both the Bucks-Pacers and 76ers-Knicks series were on Tuesday night. New York and Indiana both entered the day with a 3-1 series lead over their opponents, and in both series, the leading team was unable to close out the series. The 76ers took the Knicks to overtime, and Philly secured a 112-106 win and forced a Game 6 behind a Tyrese Maxey 46-point performance, including 7 points in the final 25 seconds of regulation to tie it and force overtime. Game 6 was last night, and the Knicks are moving on to the next round after picking up their 4th win. The Bucks, just like the 76ers, managed to find a way to win and stay alive for at least one more game. Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton each scored 29 points, and the Bucks took care of the Indiana Pacers, winning 115-92. Game 6 of this series was also last night, and the Pacers have now closed out the series and are moving on to face the Knicks. Over on the ice, the Stanley Cup playoffs have been as electric, if not more so, than the NBA. The New York Rangers were the first team to advance past the first round after they swept the Washington Capitals 4-0. Artemi Panarin had a goal and an assist in the 4-2 win in Game 4, which moved the Rangers into the second round to face the Carolina Hurricanes, who defeated the New York Islanders 4-1. Also in the East, the Florida Panthers have moved past the Tampa Bay Lightning and into the second round as well. This series had some close matchups throughout, but the Panthers dropped a 6-1 victory over the Lightning on Monday. The Panthers will move on to face the winner of the Boston Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs series. Toronto managed to stay alive after picking up a crucial overtime win in Game 5, saving their season and their playoff hopes. Game 6 was last night, and the Leafs have miraculously tied the series 3-3. Game 7 will be tomorrow. On Tuesday, Mikko Rantanen scored his first 2 goals of the playoffs in the third period, which led the Colorado Avalanche to a 6-3 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. That win clinched their opening round playoff series, and they defeated the Jets 4-1. They now move on to face the winner of the Dallas Stars and Vegas Golden Knights series. The Stars are currently up 3-2, and Game 6 will be tonight at 7 p.m. And lastly, Edmonton and the local LA Kings have been battling it out, and Game 5 was Wednesday night. Leon Draisaitl scored twice for Edmonton as they eliminated the LA Kings with a 4-3 win. The Oilers will play the winners of the Canucks and Predators series, and Vancouver is currently up 3-2, with Game 6 also today at 4 p.m. I mentioned last week that this weekend is one of the most famous events in sports, the Kentucky Derby. Known as the greatest 2 minutes in sports, the 150th Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky will take place this Saturday. Currently, the top 2 horses with the best odds to win are Fierceness and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has won 3 of 4 career races, losing by just a nose in 1 race. Fierceness remains the overall favorite on the day and has won 2 of his last 3 races, including the Florida Derby in his most recent start. All the action kicks off tomorrow morning, with the first race coming at 7:30 a.m. The main event will begin at 3:57 p.m., and all the races throughout the day can be seen on NBC. To end the show on some not-so-great news, Angel star outfielder Mike Trout is back on the injury list again this season. It was announced Tuesday that Trout has torn his meniscus in his left knee. Currently, there's no set time for Trout's return, but it's believed that the injury is not season-ending, luckily. In 2021, he had a torn calf muscle that limited him to play in just 36 games. The following year, he was able to play 119 games, but a back injury put him back on the injured list. Last season, Trout suffered a hand injury after fouling off a pitch that limited him to just 82 games. From 2021 to 2023, Trout has missed 249 games, more than half of the possible games he could play. He was off to an MVP caliber season this year, hitting 10 home runs and 14 RBIs in 29 games so far. Hopefully, it's a speedy recovery, and he'll be right back to hitting home runs soon. It's a great time in sports with all the playoffs I just mentioned going on, plus the MLB, NFL draft rumors and stories are coming out, and so much more. In the next few weeks, we'll get the start of men's and women's College World Series, and before we know it, the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris will begin. Personally, I cannot wait for that. With all that said, enjoy all the games and matches and events that the sports world has to offer, and come right back next Friday for more sports news, updates, and highlights. I'm Cole Young. Enjoy the first bright and sunny weekend of May, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
never ended up in one basket. You saved, you invested, you diversified. Then, with the right help, you grew your nest egg and found the recipe for your ideal retirement. And when it all came together, you realized it was about more than just eggs. Write your retirement recipe today.
Irvine Barclay Theater is your home for the best in live entertainment. Here's what's coming up next.
And just when you mean to tell her that you have no love.
Though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes.
For tickets and information, visit thebarclay.org.
It's time to take a look at the Friday movie here on Village Television. Today's movie is A Year in Burgundy, starring Anne Bancroft, and it's brought to you by Pacific Financial Planners. And this documentary film follows the fortunes of 7 winemaking families through the year's cycle, from bud break in spring to pruning in autumn. The 7 families discuss the cultural and creative process of making wine in the Burgundy region of France, shedding light on their connection to the land and their grapevines, as well as the unpredictable changes of the season. And now let's take a look at some announcements here in the village. The Reformed Temple invites you to dine around on Saturday, May 4th at 5:30 p.m. Come mingle and meet new friends over cocktails and dinner. The cost is $50 per person. And the Kentucky Derby is coming up on Saturday, May 4th. That's tomorrow in Clubhouse 2 at 3:30 p.m. Come participate in this fun event, and you can dress up if you like. And yes, ladies, you can wear the big Kentucky Derby hats if you like, and you are welcome to bring your own food. And now let's take a look at the weather outside. The drizzle from this morning is starting to clear up, and then it'll be mostly sunny today with a high of 72. We'll get some patchy fog late in the evening tonight and into tomorrow morning, and then it'll be sunny skies on Sunday, mostly sunny as well. Monday, sunny again, and Tuesday, more sunny skies. So love to see that sun here in sunny California. Looking ahead tomorrow on this day, we have Adapt to It and Harvard Eye Associates, so make sure you check back in for that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. For This Day, I'm Bobby Higgins. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.